week I wanted to come back to you guys with a video on social work. So as you can see from the title, today I'm just going to share with you all about social work, what kind of field it is, why I'm doing it, if you were curious at all. I mentioned, I think previously in, what video was that? It was a video on graduate school, and I talked about how I'm at the NYU Silver School of Social Work right now. So I suggested if you wanted to see maybe other videos about social work, and I did receive one recommendation for it, so thank you to that person who recommended it. I love when people recommend videos for me. That's why I'm here today. We're gonna talk a little bit about social work if you were curious. So let's just get straight into the video. What is social work? We're not here to take away your children. It seems like the media, mass media, has made social workers this awful, miserable people who come and take away children from their families. And yes, there are child social workers, but that only happens if the family environment is not safe for the child and the child needs to be removed for their own safety. But anyway, just whenever I tell people I'm a social worker, the first thing people tell me is,
"Oh, are you gonna take away my children?"
Come on, really? So social work basically is a field of helping people, and I know that's very, very general and vague because you can help people as a lawyer, as a doctor, as a writer. You write books that help people. So in social work, you can help people in a lot of different settings, whether it's in a hospital setting or in a mental health clinic, or even in corporate agencies or nonprofit agencies. So social workers are everywhere essentially, and they do a lot of different work. But basically the core competencies of social work is based on ethics, on morality, on advocating for social justice for minorities, and just people who don't have a voice, for vulnerable and oppressed people. So that could be the disabled, the aging, the LGBTQ community, other minorities like African Americans, Hispanics, Asians. So basically my profession is in helping people that may not get the help that they need. So why am I in social work? I'm in social work because, at least in my personal view, I only believe in living once. You live your life, you die, and for me, I think I'll go to heaven. Growing up, I thought that I wanted to be super successful, and successful in the ways of this world where I'd make a lot of money, I'd marry a rich guy, I'd live on the Upper East Side of Manhattan and buy all the things in the world and not have a care, and go to rooftop cocktail bars and mingle with the socialites, or typical stuff, I guess. But I chose social work because I feel like it matters more than any of those fantasies, because it is a profession where I can directly influence and help people in a positive way in my work setting. I knew for a fact that I wouldn't be able to work or function in a 9-to-5 place somewhere if I wasn't passionate about it. So my next logical line of thought was, what am I passionate about? And I'm passionate about a lot of things, but the main thing that I'm passionate about is spreading positivity and helping people, essentially. Making money feels good, eating yummy food feels good, I don't know, hanging out with my friends feels good, but when I'm able to help someone, and when the things I can say or do can positively influence someone, I've just felt this exhilaration and this rush of just energy, and I feel like I'm living when I'm helping someone. Maybe that's kind of lame, but that's just me. This is my story, don't judge, but that's just what I realized about myself. So is it worth it? Although sometimes I do really get jealous that my friends out of college have started working already, so they're doing their 9-to-5 and they're established, but I still feel like I don't know what I'm doing since I'm graduating next year and I don't have a job yet. In the end, ultimately, I do know that it's really worth it. Graduate school is worth it, especially for my field of social work, and social work is definitely worth it, and I do not have a single day where I regret choosing this field. Obviously, there are days when I doubt myself and I doubt my capabilities of being truly able to help someone who may have a mental health condition, who may have had a really difficult childhood and so suffer from depression now. These are the type of people that I want to help, or war veterans, or homeless on the streets. How can I strategically help them to get them off the streets and keep them off the streets so they can find a job, a place to live? And it's not only even getting them off the streets, how can I benefit them mentally and kind of bring spirit back into their souls after they've been neglected by society for so long? So these are the thoughts that have been going on through my mind, but ultimately I'm so happy and not a single ounce of regret for being in social work. I feel alive whenever I go to class, the class discussions, the professors, the classmates that I take classes with. It just feels like such an honor to be at the forefront of fighting against injustice and really trying to bring more attention and more care to the vulnerable people that are sometimes forgotten. So where do I see myself with social work in the future? Like I mentioned, I finished my first year at NYU, so I have one more year. So May 2018, I'll be finally graduating with my master's degree. Where I would like to see myself, I guess short term, I want to work in like a hospital medical setting where I can help families of those who are ill get through like the paperwork and just the emotional, like stressful process of having a loved one in the hospital, you know? Everyone in the hospital has a job to do. Doctors have a job, nurses have a job, there's lawyers in hospitals now, but the social worker is kind of the one that's advocating for the family of the patient and the patient just so that they understand the billing process, they understand healthcare, but also psychologically they're being taken care of through therapy, through just speaking to me if they need someone to speak to, so I can kind of become like their ally in the hospital. So that is my dream position in the short term. And in the long term, if things work out, I don't know, I do plan on getting married soon, so having children and all of these things kind of freak me out because professionally I would love to go back to school again. I don't know why I want to. It's kind of like a sickening obsession with academia maybe, but I do want to go back. I would love to get a PhD in psychology with the focus on public health. I just think it would be the perfect PhD to be a part of, to kind of put forward my eventual like dream purpose with this field, which is to work on alleviating negative mental health stigma that surrounds Asian American cultures, because I did make a video on what having a mental illness is like for Asian Americans. I'll link that right here so you can check it out. Mental health is something that's very taboo in Asian communities, whether it's just Asian or Asian American. It's not something that is as widely accepted. That's why there's so many high suicide rates. That's why so many children in Korea or Japan or in China, they're depressed because they're told kind of to suck up their feelings and not talk about it. So ultimately my life goal is to kind of contribute to the research in alleviating such negative stigma and bringing therapy and counseling and social work into those Asian cultures. So yeah, I could talk for hours on this. Clearly, I'm very passionate, and it just makes me feel alive just thinking about my future. And it's so weird, like I'm like excited to write my PhD dissertation. I know that's so stupid and you're probably just gonna click off my video now, but I just feel like I found the perfect field for me. I found a passion that I want to like dedicate hours and effort and just time and everything into. If it could mean I can change just like one person's life, that would be amazing. It'd be amazing. Long story short, I'm in a profession that helps people and alleviates societal pressures on the oppressed and the vulnerable in society. And I'm so happy and I feel alive, and I'm so honored to be in a field that's for extending good. That's it for this week's video. Thank you so much for watching. I hope I was able to help you in any way. And yeah, I'll see you next week with another video. Bye!